our national sports teams are there to represent us on the world stage. But if you're gonna stand up for Australia, then for God's sake do it properly. We are a crossbreed culture at the arse end of the world. We've come from every nation on earth, which makes us the world's ultimate mongrels. And that's what our national team should represent. Our national team should sack its coach just because he's South African. Our national team should be proud for not finishing their homework. And our national team should get drunk in a pub and punch the opposition players in the face. Because our national team is one tough mongrel, just like us. Australian cricket, let's get ready to mongrel.
I'm the creative director at Yoke. We are a creative studio based in Collingwood in Melbourne. We've been going for about 5 years, about 5.5 years. We tend to work in 4 areas, which is design, brand, digital and media. When I first got the brief, I just said yes immediately. I mean, like, I'm a massive sports fan. I'm obviously not from Australia, and cricket's not that big in Scotland, to be honest, but I love watching any sport, and I think that if you're talking about sport, there's always a lot of passion, there's always a lot of drive, and there's always a lot of like emotion behind it as well. We attacked the brief by kind of, first of all, making sure that we were like completely on brief. I think one of the things with this is that you could get caught up with getting people to get behind cricket in general rather than the Australian cricket team. So a lot of the ideas that we initially had, we just ended up shelving when we came to the conclusion that, you know, they were good and they were really like emotive, but they weren't specifically about the Australian cricket team. So we did a lot of research. We went down to the MCG museum down at and looked at, you know, all the historic stuff. We looked at the current team. We looked at the kind of, and you know, talked to a lot of people that were quite close to the game about what they thought about it. And basically took all the different opinions and then just tried to put a really strong concept around it. We went for this kind of animated approach, so a lot of it was based around image searching. So we did a lot of image searching that had like these iconic cricket, captured these iconic cricket images. And then it was about making sure that those images were replicated and had enough visual interest in them. So we did a lot of animation, post-production, a lot of sound effects, a lot of voiceover recording, and a lot of tweaking to get kind of little bits and pieces in there, so that you know, it just kind of lifted it up. Every time you saw it, there was something kind of extra, like had quite a lot of dimension in it. We hoped. It did prove a little bit harder than I initially anticipated once we started to get into it, but it was a good brief. It was a good brief, yeah.